people in swimming. He wanted to compete versus everybody, and just to see that electric and that energy, from a young guy, and for us as the older guys, remembering at one point having all that energy, was definitely, it was a blessing for sure to be around and the rest of those young guys.
He is a quote machine. There is no doubt
sure.
about it. So listen, going into, a couple of decades worth of basketball, going into a new year, I'd say a little bit has changed. Your old podcast partner is your coach and your son is on the team. So just how different is this season going into this season compared to the other, umpteen years?
No, it's definitely different in the sense of, just mentioning, with Bronny being a part of the team now. I'm looking at you two guys right now. I think it's one of the greatest things in the world to be able to work with your kid, so, this week we got back into the gym, and it was really the first time that me and Bronny, was basically on the floor as professionals, training, going against each other, preparing, for the season. And I had a couple moments where I kind of I lost focus, and I'm not used to losing focus when I'm out on the floor, but I was a couple of times I was just looking to the side and just watching him prepare and watching him go after it. And it was just, it's going to be an unbelievable year for myself, and I hope for him as well.
I feel like I wouldn't be doing my journalistic duty if I didn't ask, what did he call you when he got out in the court? We saw the soundbite the other day on whether or not he was going to call you dad. How did he address you when you guys finally got out there?
You know what? He has not said anything yet. He has not given me a name yet on the practice court. And I've actually had my ears so open waiting for that moment. And I know it's going to come at one point. And I don't know if I'm going to be surprised by it or in awe of whatever he calls me. So, I'll make sure that you guys get the intel. Because I'm on you guys' show today, I'm going to give you guys the first crack at it of what he said first when it comes out.
Perfect. Breaking news then we'll get straight from the source of LeBron James that we're looking forward to there. But that's a cool moment. I saw, Steve Sarkisian got a chance to watch his son play for Texas this last weekend and said, he's like, I took the headset off and I was just dad for a few plays and getting to watch that. And I'm curious for you, Dad mentioned you're 2 decades into one of the greatest careers basketball's ever seen. You've got all the championship accolades and everything else. Has this changed your mindset at all going into this season, changed your approach at all going into this season with how different that particular part is?
I think with that particular part, it's going to give me a sense of enjoying the moment a little bit more. When you're so engulfed and you're in training mode and you're in determined mode and you're so engulfed on the preparation and the process, sometimes you can lose tracks of some of the, things that happen throughout the course of the season where you should celebrate it or you should be, appreciate it a little bit more. So I think, with Bronny being here now, I think I can have a moment or two where I can just just sit back and be, appreciative of just the moment itself, because, it doesn't last forever. Like you guys mentioned, I am 2 decades plus into this, into this career. There's no way in hell I'll do another 2 decades plus. So I got to appreciate some of it. And, to be alongside Bronny would definitely help that.
So I got to ask, I only played a paltry 9 years in the NFL compared to your couple of decades. So when my kids were coming up and playing football, especially in high school, I taped their games. And then the next day we watched film. I had them in a room watching film. So now you were still playing when Bronny and Bryce were in high school, but do you break down tape with them? And do your kids hate that as much as my kids hated when I broke down football with them?
Well, if I to mention, like you just said, if I had a game the same day that they had a game, I definitely had it recorded. If I didn't, and if I was on the road, I was always watching the games. And as soon as I saw them, I would definitely mention 4, 5, 6 plays that I saw that they could have been better at, that they're probably telling me that they were good at, and I'm wrong, vice versa. We go back and forth. So, I totally get it. Oh, and to go back on what you just said, Senior, 9 years in the NFL, that is 15 plus years in the NBA, especially at your position. So that is not a mere 9 years. That physical, pounding that you guys got to take in that league. So, 9 years is quite of a career.
No, I appreciate that.
No, there's no doubt about it. And I have a feeling now, Bronny, being on the same team with you, will have the same realization I did when I got to ESPN and started working with Dad, that Dad knows a thing or two. I should probably listen to some of what's come up. I'd have to imagine he's starting to make that transition now. If there was ever that back and forth before where, hey, getting to see it up close and personal, I know for me was so eye-opening, and just seeing all the day-to-day things that you might miss not being in the same building, where now you guys have that relationship at coworkers that's so different than even father and son the way you've had it for so long.
No, and I hope so, and my job is to show by example, show by my leadership, give him the blueprint that I've been able to accomplish or gather over the last, like you said, 2+ decades, and filter it to him where he can use it and use it to his ability, to use it to his knowledge, and but the most important thing, just the presence. Being present in your kids' lives is very important, and it's that is the blueprint. So for me, having him on a day-to-day basis around me at the workplace. Lead by example, also by communication and things of that nature, I think is going to only just, fast track him to the greater good.
We went first last time.
We're not here to win a championship. We're here to have fun.
This year's Player of the Year, everyone.
Here we go again. Both teams running up the clock to secure the tie. Now this is basketball.
PlayStation.
No doubt about it. We're all looking forward to watching that again. Such a unique thing that we get in the world of sports coming up with you guys this season for the Lakers. As I said, you, JJ Redick, Bronny, and this 2024-25 season going to be one to remember, no doubt about it. But you talked about Dad's time in the NFL. We know you were a hell of a football player yourself back in the day and have loved watching it. So coming up next, we'll be back with LeBron James a little bit more here on Gojo and Golan. Michael Oak Jr. and Michael Oak Sr. here alongside the King, LeBron James, kind enough to give us a bunch of his time this morning. We talked a bunch of hoops before, but we know LeBron James was a prolific high school football player back in his days as a kid from Northeast Ohio, and still a huge fan of the game now, whether it's Ohio State on Saturdays or the NFL on Sundays as well. And you guys have seen him in the ads with Kevin Hart. They have been hilarious, and we know LeBron James got plenty of opinions when it comes to the NFL slate. So you want to pick some games with us, LeBron? We're going to go through the Sunday slate with you. That work?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's start it off here. The 1 o'clock window on Sunday, Eagles at Saints. LeBron, who you got in this one?
That is, Eagles had a tough loss versus the Falcons in their last game. Came down to the wire. They let one slip away from them. But the Saints